Hello, everybody. This is card guy Chris Ellis,
Collectible Chris.
and we are here to talk about the AFC East this week.
You mean North?
Excuse me, AFC North. Sorry.
It's all good. And the first thing we're going to talk
Mm.
about is the Baltimore Ravens. With the Ravens, I personally collected Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins, Mark Andrews, and Justin Tucker. All guys that people would collect, and people don't like collecting kickers just because there's really not value in kickers as much as it used to be. Of course, in 2000s, you had Sebastian Janikowski, Adam Vinatieri, and like now it's like a lot of good kickers don't get much recognized. Four kickers are in the Hall of Fame, and that's it. So kickers don't get a lot of love. Jackson elusive had a great game against the Jets, but of course it's the Jets. But and people to collect along with them, Marcus Peters, I think is a great player. Justin Houston, former Chief, now with Baltimore, great defensive player. Cannot go wrong with Justin Houston. And another guy that people sleep on is Kellis Campbell. I think he's a great player, especially contributes. Anything to add?
I collect Tucker and Dunnerway. Both are Texas alums. That's one reason. Yeah, I would completely agree with the collectible side of it. Of course, also if you collect older players, Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis is a
Uh,
given. Trent Dilfer doesn't have much value, but if you like old school underdog quarterbacks, Dilfer is a nice card to get, especially his rookie cards, very affordable.
Bo Ware is another one.
Ed Reed, definitely
Yeah.
Ed Reed. Steve Smith, even
Yeah.
though he was mainly a Carolina Panther, but Steve Smith Sr. was still a Baltimore Raven.
Yep. Even Mark Ingram was the Raven. But he's back with the Saints. He also got Willis McGahee. He played with the Ravens. Ricky Williams played with the Ravens.
Nagata,
Yeah.
offensive lineman, one of the best offensive linemen, should be in the Hall of Fame in my opinion. Terrell Suggs, powerhouse, along with Ray Lewis. I gotta give a shout out to the former Arizona State player.
And you got the big tight defensive tackle that just passed away. The one that used to be on the sideline reporting.
Oh shoot! Dang it.
I can't think of his name off the top
I
of my head.
cannot think of his name on top of my head either. Ooh, that's gonna kill me.
Zaragoza.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's right.
And Ravens have a very good collectible base. You want to go next?
All right, Cincinnati Bengals. I only select two guys, and they're both wides. T. Higgins from Clemson and Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd is a unsung wide receiver core member. I mean, honestly, I think is so underrated, especially now with Jamar Chase. And I think Higgins is now the number two, leaving Boyd being the wide receiver number three. But Boyd is the unsung Bengal before Chase ever came. Other people to collect, even though they had a horrendous game. Joe Burrow, and can't blame everything on Burrow. They did not beef up their offensive line. Jamar Chase, of course. Joe Mixon is a good running back, actually an underrated running back. And also another guy that people should not be sleeping on, Devin Asi. I think he'll be a great player in the future.
Bengals, for me, that I collect right now, Jamar Chase. Definitely. But older Bengals, Anthony Munoz,
Definitely Anthony.
Carson Palmer.
Chad Ochocinco is still.
Yeah. Boomer Esiason, Corey Dillon. I really like Corey. I got to watch him when we lived in Washington State, play for the Huskies. Very good running back, very underrated in his NFL career. Okay. Anybody else want to add?
I'm trying to think of his name. Oh, dang it. I can't remember. I'll get to it in the future. I just cannot think of it at this time. So should we talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yep.
So sorry, but he'll still be collectible. J.J. Watt. I hope he doesn't have a season-ending injury after yesterday's game. But I also collected Mitch Trubisky because I'm a Tar Heel fan. If I'm cheering for anybody from North Carolina, it's got to be the Tar Heels. People to elect other than those two, honestly, Kenny Pickett is going to be a good quarterback if he gets a starting position. Najee Harris, hopefully he is not hurt for the rest of the season. George Pickens, it's going to be a good wide. Chase Claypool, I think is still considered pretty good. Another wide receiver, though, Miles Boykin. Cameron Hayward is a good defensive player. Always been a great defensive player, but another guy from Jacksonville, Miles Jack. Expect him to do great things for the Steelers defense.
I'm definitely collecting Kenny Pickett. I always pick somebody from this year's draft, this last draft to collect. So I collect Pickett. Other players that I collect, of course, Rod Woodson, Hines Ward, Jerome Bettis. You can add Big Ben now since he retired.
I cannot forget Mr. Head and Shoulders himself, Troy Polamalu.
Yep. So, I mean, of course, you got Franco Harris. You got the Steel Curtain.
Even though we both don't like him, Terry Bradshaw is seen as a collectible older, especially his years are now going into that vintage slot. So those are actually affordable cards. His second year Topps card I used to have before I traded it. Now at grade 8 is now going for 300 plus. I should have kept that card. But also another older, now a player not active right now. I hate to say it, Antonio Brown. So
I mean, Steelers are always going to be collectible because they're got a great fan base. So look out for those. All right, go ahead.
All right, Cleveland Browns. I will be collecting Sam Howell. That's got to be my guy to collect this year, mainly because he's from UNC. But another guy I collect is Jacoby Brissett. My dad actually got me started to collect him, and he was a Colt, and he played decently for the Colts too. So can't complain about that. Other people to collect though, Amari Cooper. You cannot insult his career, especially now being on his third team. It's sad that he's on his third team. He should have stayed as a Raider, in my opinion. Nick Chubb, of course. Myles Garrett is a beast. Really underrated in value in cards right now. So if you're looking for a good defensive player to collect, Myles Garrett is actually pretty affordable right now. I hate to say it, Deshaun Watson, it will be going back up. Donovan Peoples-Jones is a sleeper wide receiver. Last year was his rookie year. He did decent, and he had 60 yards receiving for the Browns yesterday. So I am expecting him to do a little bit better this year. On the defensive end, Greg Newsome II is actually a good corner. He's not a shutdown corner, but he knows how to do a coverage base, especially when he gets help from the strong safety. So that's a good defensive player to look at.
And you also got Ward.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Greg Ward. Lord. Yeah.
For the Browns, I do collect Deshaun Watson. I know that's a hotbed collecting, but once he comes back from suspension, that should be over, so he can go on with playing. I collect Amari Cooper, I always have since he was a Raider. Bernie Kosar is one of my favorite quarterbacks all time, so I collect him. Clay Matthews for an older. Of course, Chubb, Hunt. They both had great games yesterday, combined for over 200 plus yards.
I forgot Kareem Hunt was still the backup. Also, as you're looking for older players, especially vintage, Jim Brown is always a good card to look forward to as well. Also, one of the best original tight ends, Ozzie Newsome, is also a good one to collect as well. So if you're looking for older cards, definitely I'm going to do a quick shout out. David Adams has been getting singles, and some of them has been actually also Newsome graded cards, so I would check that out.
All right. So what's next?
All right. You want to do Hall of Fame bound?
Yeah, we do it.
All right. I'm sticking with the division. I've been trying to stick with the division for our little games. So 3 players, 2 not active, 1 active.
Okay.
I'm going to do the active first, and I'm going to do Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
Even him being a kicker.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to say this right now with his stats. 91.1 percentage. And that's with accuracy with his kicks. And he's been in the league for 10 plus years now, right?
Yeah, pretty.
And, of course, he now has the longest kick field goal, and that was from last year against Detroit, which made Detroit still be winning lists at that point. And they won 19-17 too, if I remember correctly. So, Justin Tucker, Longhorn, well, yeah, maybe a little biased, but I agree.
Maybe a tad.
I agree. I think Tucker should be in the Hall of Fame. And honestly, next week I'm going to talk why another player should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. But, all right. So, this one, I'm going to see if you can guess this. All right. Been on two teams his whole career. 84.5 sacks, 34 forced fumbles, 8 interceptions, with a career 583 tackles.
I'd say that was pretty good. I think that's good Hall of Fame bound material.
And he's eligible next year. James Harrison.
I think he's Hall of Fame bound.
First ballot Hall of Fame, or we'll get in about 4 years.
It depends who's on the ballot, but I would say Hall of Fame bound. I mean, he might not get in first time because some don't, but I would say Harrison's Hall of Fame bound.
Okay. All right. Now this next person, inactive, also eligible for the ballot next year. Played 11 seasons for the same team, only allowed 3 sacks.
Wow.
And I'm talking about offensive tackle Joe Thomas.
Oh, he's Hall of Fame bound. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
First ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Now, if Thomas and Harrison were like the last final two to get the vote, like that's tough.
I would think since Harrison was Steeler, he'll probably get the push in, and then Thomas, but both of them deserve the Hall of Fame.
Okay. All right. Little pre-prediction before the Hall of Fame comes around. So Harrison and Thomas, I think they both deserve in the Hall of Fame. I didn't know Thomas only allowed 3 sacks, which is impressive out of an 11-year career, especially in Cleveland.
Yeah, he was a good player.
Oh yeah. All right. Should we talk about our Week 1 predictions?
Yeah, except for the last game, which is tonight.
Yeah, with the Broncos versus Seahawks in Seattle.
What was our record?
Okay, so out of 14 games, both me and my dad actually had 6. And then the last game was a tie between the Colts and the Texans because we both went for the Colts and they tied 2020. So technically we didn't lose, but technically we don't get the win on that. So out of 14 games, we only had 6 right. We both were wrong with the Rams. Of course, Bills won 31-10, which was surprising. You went with the Eagles, where I went with the Lions, and it was a close game. The other one that we both lost to was the Niners and Bears. Bears came with a surprise game. I got the Steelers against the Bengals, and I was right on that one. We both went with the Dolphins. Another good game that split was between the Browns and the Panthers, and I got the Browns, and when you had the Panthers. Saints and Falcons, you chose the Saints, where I chose the Falcons, and that was also a 1-point game. So that game went either way. Ravens unanimously defeated. You went with the Jags, where I went with the Commanders, and the Commanders actually pulled it off. Packers and Vikings, you went with the Packers, which I understood why. I went with the Vikings, and Vikings did win that one. Titans lost by 1, and we both went for that one, and we both lost that. I went with the Raiders, where you went with the Chargers, and that was also another great game, probably game of the week, honestly, and Chargers pulled that off.
Devontae Adams had a great game that game.
Oh, yes, and like I said, watch the Raiders. Cardinals and Chiefs, I wanted the Cardinals to beat the Chiefs, but sadly that did not happen. And we both, unfortunately, said the Cowboys and Dak Prescott might be out for 6 weeks. So, yeah, Cowboys are not looking good in their future.
No, we might be fighting for our number 1 pick.
Probably. Now, will they have the worst record in the whole NFL? Because I still think it's going to be the Jets. I'm sorry. I'm thinking it's still going to be between the Jets and the Seahawks. Depending on the game tonight.
Yeah. All right, what we got this week? Thursday night game, right?
Yep, Chargers versus Chiefs in Kansas City.
I'm going with the Chiefs in that.
All right, you're going with the Chiefs. With the game and with how he's been doing, I'm going with Herbert and the Chargers in Kansas City. All right, Pats versus Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Go with the Pats on that one. I mean, not the Pats. I'm sorry. I'm going with Pittsburgh, even though.
Ivan, he teased you.
Even though JJ is going to be hurt, I'm going with.
Especially with Hayward and especially the new guy that came from the other team with the Steelers. I'm going with Pittsburgh too, especially since it's going to be.
I just don't like how the Patriots played this weekend. I don't know if they're going to get everything fixed.
Okay, fair enough. Panthers versus Giants in New York.
It's going to be a good game. The Giants played really well, and Saquon Barkley looked like his old self.
But will he stick to it?
Well, yeah. Well, no, I'm gonna go with Carolina. I think Carolina will get more people involved.
All right, Carolina, especially Mayfield if he actually stays smart. I like the coaching with New York now, especially that gutsy 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that was.
So I'm going with the coaching of the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the Panthers. I have not been the same since Ron Rivera. So I'm going with the Giants on that one. Jets versus Browns in Cleveland.
Going Browns.
You're going Browns on that one?
Yeah.
I'm also going Browns because I'm sorry. I like Flacco, but was not a great game yesterday, and he needs to improve on it. All right. This next game, I'm going to be conflicted. Colts versus Jaguars in Jacksonville.
I'm going Colts.
You're going Colts with that one? I'm only saying this just because I'm wearing my Andrew Luck jersey. I'm going with Colts to beat the Jags. The next one, I'm going to be torn. Miami Dolphins versus Ravens in Baltimore.
I'm going Ravens in that one.
You're going Ravens?
Yeah, I'm going Ravens in that one. Jamar Jackson. I said Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, yeah. Because Lamar had a great game. But so did Tua, Waddle, and Tyreek. The Ravens are a better pass rush. I just don't see them being a good pass rush right now. I'm going to say Dolphins by 3.
Okay.
Bucks versus Saints in New Orleans.
Bucks have been very good against the Saints in New Orleans. I'm going to go with the Saints in this one.
You're going to go with the Saints in this one? I'm actually going to go with the Saints as well, especially with their come from the back win against Atlanta. Again, Atlanta ain't Tampa Bay, but we'll see that. Commanders versus Lions in Detroit.
I like how the Lions played this weekend. I'm going with Detroit.
You're going with Detroit? I liked how Wentz played, and I think that he's coming back with a vengeance, like I said, in the preseason, so I'm going with the Commanders. Seahawks versus 49ers. We haven't seen the Seahawks play.
I'm going Niners. I don't. Geno Smith is not going to be.
And if Geno Smith gets hurt, there comes Drew Lock, and honestly, he cannot beat that 49er defense. So, yeah, I'm going to say 49ers in 49ers Stadium. Falcons versus Rams in Los Angeles.
I think the Rams are going to be more prepared than what they were for the first game of the year. I'm going to pick Rams.
They're definitely going to have a tail on them. I want to say Falcons just because of how great they played. It's just that I do not trust the coaching right now, so I'll also say Rams. All right, the next one. Cardinals versus Raiders in Oakland. Las Vegas. Raiders. I'm going with Raiders too, especially if Devontae Adams does what Devontae Adams does.
Yep.
Houston Texans versus Denver Broncos in Denver.
Bills played a good game.
He did way better than expected.
He's been doing well. If you look at his statistics from last year,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely going.
And he tied with the Colts, like a tie
play?
in the first season, in the first
Broncos.
week. And you're still going with the Broncos.
I'm going to go with the Broncos because it's in Denver, and it should be a home field advantage there.
Especially Russell Wilson's first home game with Denver. That's why I'm going with that too. I have to say Wilson and Denver is
No, it would not surprise me if the Texans won. But
okay. So you think it'll be another close game?
oh yeah, it'll be a close game.
Next one, Bengals versus Cowboys in
Bengals.
Dallas. Wow.
Bengals will win that game.
Okay, look, the Cowboy fan wins.
The Bengals will definitely win that game. It's
okay. You trust the Bengals O-line against your Dallas front four?
I don't think the Dallas defense is going to score 34 points or 21. They
No,
might score
no,
14 or 7, but they're not scoring.
Okay. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I'm going with the Cowboys because I think Cooper is still a good backup
He
quarterback.
is a good. He won last year. He beat Minnesota in Minnesota.
Yes, and this is gonna be his first home start next week.
Yeah.
So I do not trust the Bengals O line. I think the Bengals O line still needs to be beefed up. I trust Dallas's front four, especially them getting to Brady yesterday, because even though it was a bad game offensively, the defense held up their own. So I'm going with the Cowboys.
Okay.
This next one's gonna be interesting. Bears versus Packers in Lambeau.
I'm going Packers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to have 2 back-to-back bad games.
The only time that happened was actually the season after Favre left. So I kind of agree to that, but sometimes streaks are meant to be broken. I'm going with Chicago in Lambeau.
Could be a good game.
Oh yeah, the next one: Titans versus Bills in Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I'm going with Buffalo on that one too. Josh Allen is just a different beast.
This
Now,
is going to be a good game.
the Monday night game: Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's going to be a good game. If they play as well as they played this weekend, even though the Eagles' defense allowed 35 points for Detroit, wow. Kirk Cousins, who I like. They're playing in Philly, right?
They're playing in Philly.
I'll pick the Eagles.
You're gonna go with the Eagles. All right. I am gonna go with the very happy Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. Main reason why I'm going with the Vikings, like you said, they allowed 35 points against Detroit. Jared Goff is still a questionable quarterback. Kirk Cousins is more of a veteran than he is.
Yeah.
I have to give it to Cousins mainly because of his experience with Dalvin Cook, too, with the rush and the backup. And how are the Eagles going to stop Justin Jefferson if they can't stop Detroit?
So who is your collectible card guy of the week for the NFL, not including tonight's game for week 1?
For this week,
Who do you say out of the games that we've seen?
the collectible card player of the week.
Yeah, for collecting.
I didn't know you were gonna hit me with that. Honestly, I'm gonna stick with Jalen Waddle for
Waddle had a good game.
Miami. I think Waddle. He's not my player of the week, but I think Jalen Waddle is his rookie card is adding more value after his sophomore year. So I'm gonna say Jalen Waddle is my collectible card guy of the week.
Well, okay. Mine, I'm gonna go with Devontae Adams. Go with Adams for the Raiders.
Oh, Devontae, because okay, I cannot disappoint with that. Devontae had a great game against the Chargers. His first game without Rodgers.
Close second would probably be A.J. Brown.
Dang, where's AJ again?
Eagles.
Philly, and he was a big part of that too. Yeah.
Had 150 yards.
You see, my second will be Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar had a good game.
And Lamar is still increasing in value every single year. So now, dang.
Well, that's fine. Well, I don't have a good game, Jay. I mean,
I cannot, and I can disagree with that. Devontae, that was pure. Now, biggest shock to you this week from the games?
Oh.
Not score wise, but playing wise.
Oh, who had a good game playing wise?
Is shocking as in great, or shocking as in could have done a lot better?
Any of the Dallas Cowboys could have done a whole lot better. I mean, God. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think the shock was none of the Cowboys played great offensively.
Offensively, I mean, the best one
Micah Parsons had 2 sacks.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, Parsons killed it, especially from his rookie year. So
I mean,
I'll agree to that. My biggest shock this week was Von Miller with the Bills with his sacks, and he only played 52% of the snaps. So I don't know if they're just eliminating him because of his age, because he looked healthy. So I can understand with age-wise, and then your breath, the level to get to your breathness because of your lungs. But Miller was a bigger shock to me on the defensive end. you expect a Super Bowl MVP, two-time Super Bowl champ, to just slow down, but no, he's still a starter, and yeah, he's still doing what he's doing. So the biggest shock to me was Von Miller.
Yep. So that's our end of week 1. So, got anything to add?
Uh, Not at this time, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna be going to the next AFC team, AFC division. Are we gonna do the AFC South?
Yep. South will be next week.
All right, South. So that will be Titans, Colts, Jaguars, and Texans. And if only Wyatt will know about the stash. So
So everybody, this is Chris Ellis Card Guy and Chris Ellis Card Guy on Facebook, and
Collectible Chris on TikTok. And we thank y'all for y'all support at this time, and we also thank y'all for supporting the group and also sharing. So thank you.
everybody. All right. Everybody have a great day, and we'll be seeing you next week. Have a good day. Bye.